beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061, conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.
welcome to Talk Show Divas. We are in the building, streaming live right here in Douglasville, Georgia. 1061 TV. Yes. We're so glad y'all are joining in with us today. We have so much to talk about. We are so excited today. Ladies, did y'all have a great weekend so far?
Awesome weekend.
So far, so good.
Yes, absolutely.
We're going to get into that in just a second, but we just want to say thanks to our executive producer, Felix Washington, and Shantae Barksdale, who is our social media manager, who keeps it rolling each and every Sunday for us, making sure that you all are able to see when we come on Sundays at 4:30 p.m. So today, I'm your host, Kat Davis, and they call me Queen Diamond.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rose Sasha Offord. I am the owner of Rich Misses, and I'm happy to see you guys.
Latanya Jennings, welcome to the weekend. I'm excited to be here. I hope you guys enjoy our show today.
Hey, everybody. It's your girl, Kay, the motivator.
All right, let's get right into this. But before we do, I do want to give a shout out to one of our sponsors, which is Freedom for Families. She is helping people start their life over. She does a lot of mentoring and coaching and how to get your finances back in order. So if you are interested in her, you can call 678-783-6380. And the website is www.2tostartover.com. And as you can see her banner on the screen, if you want a banner to be on our show and advertise your organization or your business, please email us at talkshowdivas1@gmail.com. Or you can email us at 1061tv@gmail.com, and we will get back with you and get your banner on the screen. We have shows all week, almost 8 different shows, and you'll actually be able to have your banner on these shows. So please, if you are interested, we can talk about the prices when you send us an email. We look forward to hearing from you, and we actually got something special going on that I want her to quickly talk about before we get into these topics. But our first topic we're going to talk about, just so y'all can be thinking on it while I allow Sasha to make an announcement that you're going to love. We're going to talk about Georgia lawmakers renewing a push for a hate crime bill after the Ahmaud Arbery shooting. And I know some of you have heard about the Ahmaud Arbery shooting and everything that it has entailed, and it's so many things going on right now with the hate crime, and I need y'all to think about it, because viewers, we need to hear from you today, and we have a number that you can call in as well. But make comments, please make comments, because it is a lot of hate going on. They actually even found 2 young African American girls that had a sack over their head and were thrown over the bridge. So we need to discuss what's going on. Racism has risen, and this is a serious topic that we need to discuss. But before we do that, we want to offer you viewers something on today. Sasha.
You know what? And because you said what you said, I just got to go into this. First of all, thank you for allowing me to do this. Y'all, I have a 24/7 salon, Rich Misses, that we are offering a $250 special for hair, makeup, and nails, and that does include 2 actual bundles of weave. Now, here's the thing. My team has been trained in COVID-19. They've been trained in making sure you guys are okay, so I'm calling this a quarantine special, because in my mind, when they let the black community be open, they was expecting us to run to these salons, but they was not expecting us to protect ourselves. So what we're doing in honor of you all is my team is protected, but we're giving you 1 caller today. Whoever calls in and communicates, a female, and she's supposed to give a donation of...
Okay, what's the donation?
Ladies, what do you want to say?
Let's
be easy on... We're not going to hit you too hard, but let's say if it fall on your heart to do anything between $50 and $100.
Oh, that's too much.
You
Do
think so?
25.
Okay, 25.
Because it's 250, 10%.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
25.
Yeah,
Let's
just
go.
do the little 10%.
There we go. There we go.
Because here's the deal. It's really not about the money. It's about you communicating and interacting with Talk Show Divas and getting people to watch and getting people to follow what we're doing. And we want you to know that we as divas care about you in the community. So the first caller that interact and give a donation of $25 will get what? Their hair, makeup, and nails done this weekend, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. We 24/7, so you can book your appointment whenever. Let's do it.
And you have to stay with us to the end.
Oh, girl, we don't know all that.
Y'all see how these divas are, right? Y'all see how these divas playing you today. Don't pay them no mind today.
We ain't playing. We giving. We in a giving space.
But y'all heard it right here on Talk Show Divas. So again, if you call in, and the number is 404-519-0015. Again, the number to call in is 404-519-0015. Y'all know y'all want to get that.
Yeah.
Bundle of hair.
Work you gonna get done, and you don't all look fabulous. Just saying. We got celebrity hairstylists that are doing you guys, so let's get it in.
Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it right there. But hey, listen. Let's talk about these hate crimes.
Yes, Lord.
So I'm going to start with Miss Beautiful and Fabulous Latanya over here to my left.
Well, thank you. Making this Sunday feel really good already.
Okay.
No, good afternoon, everyone. So we're talking about in Georgia, they have, as a result of the Ahmaud Arbery situation, now Georgia is re-examining the issue of implementing a hate crime law, a hate crime bill. And so the bill's been introduced. I think it's HB 426. And basically what it does is it mandates that there's going to be, in cases where a crime is determined to have been a hate crime, there's going to be enhanced sentencing to that. The question we're exploring today is, has racism increased? And thinking about that topic, first of all, it's very difficult to actually quantify if racism in and of itself has increased. Racism is it's a belief, and it's very hard to quantify and measure beliefs. So I don't know that anyone could say that racism in and of itself has increased, because what are we comparing it to? Where are we getting those numbers from and things like that to quantify it in the first place? I do, however, very much align with Will Smith, a statement that he made, I believe it was in 2016. He was interviewed about racism. And what he said was that racism hasn't increased. He said that it's more out there, it's more available. I think his exact quote, let me read that to you. He said, I lost it. Racism is not getting worse, it's getting filmed. And so I think that thanks to social media, we can now see what was used to be hidden, what was tucked away before is now more obvious to us. It's more readily apparent. And so it stirs up in all of us a need to do something. And I think it's great that we're thinking about that and we're wanting to do something and we're wanting to address this issue. But my question is, does a hate bill work? Because as I looked around to other states, there's only 4 states that don't have a hate crime bill, Georgia, of course, being one of them.
Wyoming.
But all the other states that do have it, if you look at the statistics, the FBI did a study in 2018. They do one every year. And there's been like a 20% increase from 2013 to now. So are the hate bills working? And is there not something else we maybe need to be doing? Because the whole purpose of having hate crime laws and these things is to deter hateful acts based on racism. So what's working? What's doing that if having a hate bill is not doing it? So that's my concern.
Well, I know that the FBI here in Atlanta have been doing statistics as it relates to the hate crimes. They have been collecting data because the state of Georgia will not allow data to be collected. But the federal the Federal Bureau of Investigations does actually do data on the hate crimes. The problem is, the reason why they want to get it in place and to go back and do a bill is to make it more extensive. Right now, in some of the states, you only get 2 or 3 months for for committing a hate crime, and so it's so much going on, and then some people don't get anything done to them at all. So that's what they're trying to change, is the sentencing of the hate crimes when people are caught and when they are convicted. I know they are doing that. And Georgia, of course, is one of the 4 states, including Arkansas, South Carolina, and Wyoming, that do not have any hate crime laws or require data collection as well. What do you think about the hate crime as it relates to getting a bill?
I think there should be one in place, because people have to be held accountable for what they're doing that's not right to African American people. You can't just think because you have a title on your name or you have friends or family in high places, you can just do what you want. I mean, we are human beings, regardless to whatever race we are. We are first human beings, and we have to be treated as such. I mean, we have people and lawmakers, and I mean, they pass bills for true animals. So if you can have bills passed to protect animals, why can't you have bills passed to protect human beings?
Absolutely.
Regardless to what our race is. It doesn't matter if we brown, yellow, or orange. We all bleed the same. We are still God's children, no matter what we are, who we are. And we just need to be, I get sensitive when I talk about this, because we actually go through a whole lot being African American. I've witnessed where me having a lighter colored complexion and a coworker having a darker complexion, where they're treated such beneath, but then you want to give me, because I have a lighter skin tone, better, what do you want to call it?
Better treatment.
Better treatment.
Right.
And it shouldn't be like that, because we are, we're human beings, regardless to it. And it is very sensitive to talk about it. And it's been around a long time. So it needs to stop.
It does. And listen, this is a topic that we probably going to continue on in another segment, but we have to take a break right now. And when I get back, because some of the visitors that I wanted to address that made some comments, so I appreciate your comments. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Definitely.
Talk Show Divas.
Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491.
Today's world exposes our youth to life experiences that are well beyond that which their years should allow. Violence, trauma, poverty, injustice. Our children's lives and their livelihoods are in constant danger. Wisdom, Inc. is a community-based organization designed to save young lives by reducing violence and assisting youth in their personal development. Wisdom stands for wise individuals structuring and developing youthful minds. Through our collective wisdom, we can change lives for the better. Wisdom, Inc. Reducing violence, developing youth, saving lives. Today's world.
Hi, I'm Michael Cowell, your funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party. All right, see y'all later. Bye. Hi, I'm Michael.
Hey, are y'all back? I'm so glad y'all are still tuned in right here with us at Talk Show Divas. I just wanted to say to our other Talk Show Diva sisters, hey y'all, hope y'all doing good. We miss y'all so much. And to some of the viewers, I want to say hi to Rose Offord.
That's me.
Oh,
How you doing?
okay. What's up? What's up? Jamie Miller, Rachel, Kenneth Lott, Tiffany Jones, Michelle Lovett, the author, Deborah Boyce Larrier, Key Bolton, my girl. Deborah Boyce Larrier, hi. So, Deborah said, good afternoon, Divas. Hope that all are well and safe. She says racism hasn't really increased. There are more more cameras. That's what she said. There are more cameras. Absolutely right. LaTanya did just talk about that, how Will Smith said that they were filming more. So a lot of the things that we didn't see before, we're seeing it now. And we're going to continue with it a little bit, and then we may go on into another topic. But I'm about to let Sasha say what she's about to say. One of the things I just wanted to get in real quick is that a lot of times we think hate crimes are directly to African Americans. It's not just about African Americans. Hate crime has no color, it has no creed, it has no identity, no sexual identity. It does not care. It's very hateful, very hateful. So I'm going to let Sasha say something because she didn't get an opportunity the last segment to tell us what her take is on the hate crime bill or just the crime period.
Well, when I recommended the topic, I had just watched it on the news. And I saw a lot of our African American leaders sitting on the steps. And I'm going to be honest with you. The reason that I wanted it brought up was because I saw them asking for nothing different. I saw them begging again to be considered. And I consider us as African Americans similar to battered women. You know how you do your best to make excuses for the man, or you do your best to, prove to him that I'm better, maybe he did it this because of this, and maybe he did it because of that, and I'm going to ask his permission to not be beat again. And I'm just over it, And really, we're asking them to increase the hate crime. What are we going to do? This man was jogging. He was jogging, y'all. In a time where he really was probably happy to be out of the house. And this man's whole thing was infringed upon, and it was nothing to the world. And it's like, so to me, this hate crime bill, okay, but it's just another form of marching. It's just another form of beating. Beating on the door saying, can you help? What I feel we should do as a team, as leaders, it's really time for us to pull together. We don't need to do no news conference about it. Let's pull together and do something as a team, as a race, to assist ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Come up with something for ourselves. So that's where I'm at with it. I'm over it. It's just like, come on, let's do something. Let's do something to increase the health for our community. Let's do something for real. I'm complete with that.
I agree with that. I see where you're coming from with that, Sasha, and that's kind of where I'm at. What we're doing really going to make a difference? Is it going to be impactful? Because I, like you, I'm ready for something that is meaningful, that is tangible, that we're going to see, the fruit of the labor of it.
Yeah.
And it's hard to think that, if somebody gets, and that's the other thing is, if somebody gets convicted, that they may get, a few more years, or as you were talking about, maybe a few more months, because there's a hate crime enhancement. But is that really changing anything? No. Because the problem is, again, we're talking about beliefs, and we're talking about actions based on those beliefs. So what are we doing? You're not always going to be able to change people's beliefs. You can, through education and things like that, but some people are not going to change no matter what.
Right.
But what do we do about the fact that you're acting on those beliefs and it's infringing on a whole lot of people for no reason?
And even our governor, he had the gun, like he about to shoot somebody. The governor of Georgia. Y'all, we got to do something, family.
This is the thing, though, one of the things that I said, you talked about doing something different, making a change. And in order for us to do that, we do have to start with ourselves, but we also have to build relationships with people outside of our race. Because a lot of times we have disassociated a lot of things because we've stereotyped each other. And the reason why we stereotype each other is because of some of the things that we see on media. So we don't necessarily give everybody an opportunity or a chance. We run away. That's just like people run away from young black men that they feel like are trouble. Instead of walking toward them and approaching them and trying to figure out what's going on, what is the cause of them doing the things that they do. When are we going to take the time out to talk to one another and communicate to get to the root of the issue? You can't move forward in anything until you learn how to build a relationship with one another and not being afraid of one another. And there are different ways to do that. So I think that we all have become biased in some type of way and we don't even realize it. Sometimes we prefer a male showing us certain things versus a female showing us certain things, or vice versa. Or we prefer somebody white to show us versus somebody black. And I've heard this in a lot of businesses where they say, well, I trust a white man before I trust a black man in business. You know, so we have to, it starts within us first. It starts within us. And a lot of us, we have grown up because some of our parents have said things. And that's what's the same thing with some of the white people that are doing this, or other nationalities that are doing the things that they do, you know. So I think that we have to start with that first, to disassociate ourselves from what was and start from here now and what we can do moving forward. Because we can say we're going to do something, but what exactly are we going to do? Are we going to hold some sessions and invite different people from different races and get someone that is an expert on behaviors and different things like that as it relates to racism, as it relates to hate crimes? Like, what is it exactly that we're going to do?
It's time to stand up. It's time to stand up, and we have to just start with ourselves. So we have to quit bashing our own race as well. So, you know.
Because it's not just the white killing blacks. It's our own culture killing one another. And that alone, how can you expect somebody of another race to respect us and to love us when we can't even love our own culture?
You know, it's kind of crazy because when I deal with these girls, you know, my company helps women. It's every time I deal with them, it's stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff on top of stuff. I think I'm going to manage somebody and I'm dealing with somebody because the mama got beaten and this got beaten. So it's going to take some time. I don't know where the beginning is. All I'm requesting is a change.
Right.
Not a change like Obama changed, but I mean a change into us. Like, it could start with me, you, and her. If we don't do nothing but have a conversation as a team, like what you just came up with was beautiful. Okay, then I might have something. And then even if we don't do nothing, remember Martin said if I can help somebody, we don't do nothing but grab one person and we bring them and we say, okay, listen, maybe in our community we jog together and we create a neighborhood watch to protect, you know, the integrity of someone in their neighborhood.
Absolutely.
And then we, you know, because might grab a superstar. I don't know, but I just feel like something other than begging needs to be done.
And I have some comments from our other talk show diva sister. She said, "Thank you, Venus, for the comments. How you doing, girlie?"
Hey, Venus.
Hello, Venus said, "It's just amazing how it was hidden for months. That's the real issue. It's interesting for people to want to do things differently, but always don't open new doors. The reason why we don't see change is because people don't do anything until something happens." And that is true. It's always a tragedy that has to happen before something is done, when it should continuously be done in the first place. She said, "You should be active in your community and with the laws of your state. Education is power. Be active or be quiet." And she also stated, "We are very prejudiced in our own race, period. Crabs in the barrel, mentality, facts. Jealousy is number one."
Absolutely.
Girl.
Absolutely, girl. Like my grandma used to say, I say this all the time, my grandma used to say, "You hit the nail on the head, honey." You hit the nail on the head, but this is so true. This is so true. One of the other things that we were going to talk about, and just to run into it, was the Trump administration. in the Trump administration, and this is another area that kind of goes into the hate crimes and being biased, you know, different things like that, is finding out that Obama administration had a manual in place as it related to the coronavirus pandemic, and yet it was overlooked by the Trump administration. Now, McConnell hadn't got on social media making comments saying, blaming Obama because of the state that we are in. It's almost as if, you know, they want to tear this man down just because he was a black president before, and they want to make it look like everything he's done had been for nothing. When Trump administration came in, they tried to get rid of everything that Obama put in place. The health care plan, every single thing, every policy he had, they tried to get rid of it. So much so that they put our lives in danger as well as their own lives in danger, because you didn't want to look at a manual that was already in place. Now, McConnell had to apologize.
Of course he did.
But he still said, well, it wasn't specifically about the coronavirus. Sir, yes, it was. Obama administration, hurry up and put in a rebuttal and said, yes, it's on page 9. I don't know what paragraph it was, but they posted it on Twitter, and it showed that the coronavirus was actually in this manual to prepare them. And they said they went in detail with the Trump administration, but of course they put it aside.
Like what you were saying with Trump thing with, I don't know what Trump up to, but why, as a president, would you ask for immunity? You obviously guilty of something. And, you know, and it might be dealing with this. He probably anticipating they probably going to prosecute him on how he dealt with this so-called, it's been called coronavirus, COVID-19, the Naro coronavirus. That's three different things.
The China virus.
Yeah, the China virus. So on surreal, he asking, his lawyer is asking for immunity?
Yeah, he doesn't want to be, while he's president, he does not want to be subpoenaed or investigated while he's in the presidency chair. The problem with that is, if they grant that, there's a statute of limitations, but they're looking at him as a citizen. His business records, his financial records, his tax returns, he will not release it. And he's the first president. How did he get in the chair without them investigating this before he became president? That's a problem for me.
And that's the question that I had. If what we're saying is, you know, that we want to make sure that a person in power has the integrity that's there to hold that position, why isn't it a standard expectation that if you become a presidential candidate or you enter the presidency, you disclose that information? Why wouldn't we require that for anybody?
Absolutely.
Not just him, but for anybody. Why wouldn't we require that?
Now, y'all, we got to take a break right there. Y'all heard her question. Think about that. Give us some comments. We'll be right back. We're going to take a break. Stay tuned.
Be right back, guys.
Hi, I'm Chief Gary Sparks with the Douglasville Police Department. Today we want to give you some safety tips concerning traffic stops. Take a look.
So you look in your rearview mirror and see flashing blue lights. What do? Remain calm. Yield to the right and pull your vehicle over into an off-road area that is safe for both you and the officer. Put your car in park. Remove your foot from the brake and turn the radio off. Remain in your vehicle. Have your driver's license readily available for the officer. Keep your hands on the steering wheel, visible for the officer at all times. If you need to retrieve any items from the interior, explain what you're reaching for to the officer and avoid any sudden movements. Rolling the window down completely establishes a level of trust with the officer and allows for ease of interaction during the routine traffic stop. Be courteous and polite. Be cooperative and willing to follow the officer's instructions. During a routine traffic stop, the officer will return to his vehicle to run the tag and driver's license verification and complete a citation if one is necessary. Once the officer returns and approaches your vehicle, whether or not a citation or warning is issued, please remain calm, courteous, and cooperative. Sign the citation acknowledging you agree to appear in court, and do not dispute the citation with the officer. The officer will give you a court date to explain or defend your infraction.
Okay, ma'am. Like I told you, I did clock you at 51 in a 35 mile per hour speed zone. I did issue a citation, okay? This here is going to be your court date. I just need a signature from you stating that you received a copy of this citation, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Here's your driver license.
Thank you.
Along with a copy of the citation, okay? Do you have any questions or concerns for me?
No, sir.
Okay, well, you have a nice day, okay?
Thank you.
Thank
too.
you.
Following these few simple steps will help ensure a safe interaction for both you and the officer.
I hope these few tips help you as it relates to dealing with law enforcement and traffic stops. Not only in traffic stops, but in all encounters with law enforcement. We hope that all our encounters are safe for the citizens as well as for our officers. Again, we want you to be safe, and if you have any problems with the Douglasville Police Department, don't hesitate to give us a call and make your concerns known. I would add that Georgia is a right to carry state, and we hope that if you are carrying, that on these traffic stops and all encounters, please let the officer know that you are carrying. This will ensure your safety and our officers' safety. Thank you, may God bless you, and may God keep our community safe. We are one.
Hi, I'm Harry Lennox, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network.
Now, you're funniest man on the planet, and you're watching TV 1061, your global network. Stay tuned, because that's how they do it over here. Big time party. All right, see y'all later. Bye.
Talk Show Divas in the building, streaming live right here in Douglasville, Georgia, every Sunday at 4:30 p.m. with some hot topics. Yes, we're ready to get back into it, but right before we do, I want to first acknowledge one of our sponsors, which is Freedom for Families organization. Again, she is helping a lot of people start their life back over. You can go to her website at www.tostartover.com, and her phone number is 678-783-6380. You see her banner right on the screen. If you want a banner created, we do that. If you want to advertise your organization or your business, hey, we're here to do that as well. All you got to do is email us at 1061tv@gmail.com or talkshowdivas1@gmail.com, and we will get back with you on our prices. Now, if you just want to donate to the show, if you enjoy watching our shows, the TV network we have here, and you want to see us to continue to go on, because we have other shows as well during the week that we will make sure that you all know about. We're going to make sure we do that this week to send it to you all that are watching. But you can give a donation at Cash App. The $, of course, will always be in the front, and it's TV 1061. Please, 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 we are soliciting your help because it is expensive putting on shows, getting everybody together, people coming out, and giving you some hot topics. So please, if you love our shows, we really need your help. Donate to us at the Cash App, TV 1061. Now, right before I give it over to my talk show diva over here, I wanted to say something to Tina Sanders. Hi, Tina. You stated, thank you for watching our commercial. So those same commercials, you all that have businesses and organizations, you have an opportunity to put commercials on our show. Again, you can send the information to our emails and we can discuss it with you further. But she said, good, safe, interactive steps encountering police officers. Yes, it is very important. That's why we have that commercial up there. It's very important that we all know how to deal with officers when we're stopped by an officer. Because a lot of times we get irate, we're frustrated, we don't know why we're stopped, so we're already angry as soon as they come to the window. Just take a deep breath. Inhale and exhale. It's going to be okay. And when he asks you to roll your window down and he asks for your registration and your driver's license, just give it to him. Don't be, what you need that for? What am I being stopped for? What an attitude.
Black person do that. That's white people that do that. I don't know black people do that. We be like nervous, sweating. Right. Girl, concerned, honey.
You're right.
Come on, let's just be real.
Y'all know who y'all are.
Turning the thing on. Daddy, I think I stopped by police now.
Okay. Y'all know who y'all are be cutting up, acting up. Please don't do that. Just be calm. Find out, what it is after you give him your information. I'm sure he'll tell you anyway, okay? But getting back to the topics, we're going to let Miss Kay over here say something to you all.
Okay, everyone. Just to piggyback off of what Diva Latanya said, as it regards to everything that's going on with the Trump administration and the Ahmaud Arbery situation, and just as a whole with racism as a whole. Kenneth Lott, my uncle, he said, since slavery, we as black people have been viewed as subhuman. We will never be treated like human beings unless we can stand up as a whole. People and our politicians are not doing their jobs as elected officials. They come out when it's time for when it's time for black votes. Then they disappear. Where's Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, and Maxine Waters? They are very high-profile black people. Not to mention there are lawmakers. Where are they now? So that's true. When it is now coming upon election time. Mm-hmm. So everybody have good things to say, what they're going to promise us to get our vote. I mean,
I swear.
It just don't add up as the time going. I mean, like as Trump, the day that he got in, he didn't do anything, that he said he would do. So
wow. So y'all, we're gonna move forward from that topic because we could go all day and night with that. Those hate crimes.
If I could just say one thing on that.
Go ahead.
I feel for Mr. Lott making those comments as you're listing people in our community that we feel are important and are important contributors to improving the black condition. And I just want to say I think it's just such a sad state of affairs when we get to the point where we've lost faith in our own leaders and our own people. To be able to help ourselves and make ourselves better. That just really spoke to my heart, and it just really hurts me to hear that.
Yeah, that is so true. But he made a very valid point.
He did make a very good point.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
He did. And then we need to think about that, too. Mm-hmm. And then it's time for us to say something just like he did. So we appreciate you, Mr. Lott, for your comment. Our next topic that we're going to discuss is regarding not just this particular elementary school, but it's a lot of different schools that this is happening, not just in schools, but it's also happening in churches, it's happening in the homes, and a lot of times the root of the problem starts at home. But we have had an elementary school that had repeatedly dismissed allegations against a principal, and then we also had an FBI agent who was a 13-year-old girl who went undercover to catch one of the culprits that were trying to solicit sex from her. Now, I don't know what is really going on, but Sasha, what do you have to say about this?
Well, number one, when I looked this up, it was crazy because I generally like to fly from my gut with the subjects, but when you told me about this, I was like, okay, well, look this one up because this is something a little different. When I saw 3 or 4 different situations,
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, which one she talking about?
Yes.
Because it's several.
Several.
Like, that just blew me away.
Yes.
And even with this guy, like, there was the victim's cousin, the FBI agent pretended to be the victim's cousin. So now you done already got the victim. He became familiar with this person because he thought it was the cousin, and he was right back at it. You know, like, oh, I couldn't get her. He didn't got caught, and he's still right there. And then all they did was put him on house arrest, told him he couldn't, he had to take some counseling. That's it. He's not under the jail. He's, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, and they monitor his internet. Come on now, y'all.
That's not enough. What about you, Tanya?
So this case is it's really amazing to me how everything transpired historically with this case. So this is a gentleman who was a principal of a rural school, and I believe it started back in 2015 or 2016 was the first time that he was accused of having sexual misconduct with a student. The police were notified, they did their investigation of the incident, but because there was no crime committed, nothing happened. He wasn't charged, nothing happened criminally. However, there was plenty of evidence of his inappropriate conduct. And at that point, the school principal and the school board had the ability to act and do something to prevent this from happening again in the future. They had the ability, based on ethics rules, to remove his teacher certification and stop him from being able to continue in that role as a principal. The school board did not do that, and they claimed that they didn't do that because they didn't know. The superintendent, however, did know. And his response was there was no action taken because there was no criminal activity. So my question is, where has ethics gone? When did we decide that you can be inappropriate with children, engage in inappropriate activity with children, as long as it doesn't rise to the level of a crime, and we'll just overlook that. We're just going to bypass that.
Why is
and
that
so
not
you
a
fast
crime?
forward to
Excuse me,
now,
I'm sorry.
and he has committed this new crime that had the superintendent acted back before, this poor child now, because there was an FBI agent that was a setup, that was a sting, but there was another child in 2018 that actually was assaulted by this man. And that child would not have had to have that experience if the superintendent would have acted on it way back in 2015 or 2016, the first time it happened.
So why do you think, Kay, that people have covered this up? Why do you think they didn't move forward on it, like LaTanya was saying? Like, why do you think they didn't do that?
I honestly, you know, I really don't know what these people are thinking about. I don't know why they are covering up acts like this. I mean, this is a serious situation, you know, and to be raped, molested, whatever word you want to use for it, it's still a violation, you know, and to not have where you can, it goes back to accountability again.
Well, I can tell you about an incident that happened with me personally. So this, there was a time where I couldn't really talk about these type of topics, but thank God for His grace and His mercy and Him strengthening me. I'm able to discuss these type of topics because when I was in high school, the same guy that I sat in the classroom with from year to year, that was, I thought was a friend. I actually went out with him and his cousin, and me and his cousin was liking each other at the time, and we went to a game. Well, after the game, we ended up dropping off his cousin that liked me, who asked me, was it okay if, you know, if he got dropped off, or I want him to ride to take me home? And I'm thinking I'm safe because I was with someone that I thought was my friend, you know. So I told him no, because it didn't make sense for to go all the way there and bring him all the way back. Then the guy had to go all the way back. Well, anyway, I trusted him, and he took me somewhere in some woods. Didn't go the way he was supposed to go. much taller and bigger than me.
I'm so sorry.
And he raped me.
Oh, baby.
This breaks my heart.
And when that happened, when I had to go to school the next day, when I got home that night, I cried. I can't even begin to tell you the details. It was horrible. But the next day I had to go to school. I cried. Every classroom, not one teacher asked me what was wrong.
Oh, wow.
But one of my other friends that was a guy that was friends with him asked me. And when I told him, he took me to the principal's office. Well, I go to the principal's office. He excused him and told me, once I told, everything that happened, because the guy that did it was his nephew.
Oh my God.
Was the principal's nephew. This happened to me. Because it was his nephew, he told me, do not tell anybody.
What?
Do not tell anybody. We're going to handle it. And they took him out of all my classes. I didn't even see him anymore. They made sure I didn't see him anymore after that. Something had happened since then, which is going to be in my book because I'm not going to give no names, but I'm going to talk about this particular incident. And some may even recognize who the person is once they hear the rest of the story, but they have no clue what that did to me. So I don't know who else he raped after that, because they showed him he could get away with it just because he was a family member. So this disturbs me. Not just, it happens, like I said, with school children, it happens in churches and homes. And we have to open up our mouth, and we have to stop trying to cover up for family members and being afraid and get them some help. But y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. We have another topic to talk about how many people do you want to marry at one time. Bigamy is a real issue. We'll be right back. Talk Show Divas.
So many Black lives incarcerated. So many Black lives silenced. When will we stop the madness?
Southeast, Atlanta, Georgia 30316 in East Atlanta Village. Welcome to Burke's Jewelry. How may I help you?
We're looking for engagement rings.
We offer a wide selection. However, I believe we have just what you're looking for. Burke's Jeweler is your family's jeweler at 491 Flat.
Hey, my viewers, you are back. Oh my God, we are so happy that you are still staying tuned.
Thank you so much.
Please share, comment. Listen, if y'all want to call in on this one, I need you to call in. Just call in.
Call in.
You
If
ain't got to do nothing.
It's okay.
Just call in.
Call on in.
The number is 404-519-0015. Please call in if you have something to say about this particular topic. So, this particular topic is about bigamy. So, y'all, in the state of Utah, A law effectively decriminalizing bigamy when two people marry while at least one of them is already legally married is now in effect in Utah. For decades, bigamy was a third-degree felony, legally punishable by up to 5 years in prison and up to a $5,000 fine. The new law makes it an infraction, putting the offense on par with getting a traffic ticket. This bill was signed into law by Governor Gary Herbert in March and took effect on this past Tuesday. Now, this same state also practices polygamy, which is a practice or custom of having more than one wife or husband at the same time. It was outlawed in the United States by the Edmunds Act. So 50 states, including the District of Columbia, also are against this particular practice. But yet Utah seems to think that they can overrule this. Now, I don't know about you all, but I believe there will be a lot of consequences of having more than one wife at one time or more than one husband at one time, because that's going to be a conflict within itself. Can you imagine two being at home with one family and you telling your wife or your husband, hey, I'll be back next week. I got to go be with my family over here on the other side of town. You know, now I know they said that some of the Muslims practice having more than one wife, but in them having more than one wife, they have to take care of both the wives equally, both households equally. Now, I did hear something about that, but I'm interested, before I even say anything else about this whole situation, which is crazy to me, I'm interested to hear what you ladies have to say about this. Who wants to go first?
I'll go.
Go ahead, Sasha.
Okay, so let's really talk about it. You know, it's a lot of people that consider themselves spiritual.
Mm-hmm.
And in the spiritual world, a lot of them do what's called communal families.
Mm-hmm.
They consider it to be okay to have multiple husbands, multiple wives, and they raise their family in the same home, saying one wife is good at taking care of the children, another wife is good at business, another husband is good at providing, another husband is good at creating the babies. So it's not nothing new.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not, you know, even people use the Bible as something.
And Mormons.
Yeah, and Mormons, they use the Bible as that. Now, Utah is what has been going on. But the part that bothered me was that they were saying you could be 16 and be married. You know, and if you remember the situation with Eddie Long, did you know that all the states that happened in, the consent age was 16? That there are states that have consent age of 16. So just like what we was talking about with these what's the name people, we got old laws that need to be reviewed.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, no, I don't want no multiple husband.
You
or none
don't?
of that.
You sure you don't want no extra husband, girl?
I don't got a first husband. No, we was talking about that when you was last here. But I just don't see it being okay. But in Utah, I can see why they did it, because it's what they do, and they're the ones that run that state. But so why wouldn't they put it in play?
But the thing about it is those people came from out of the country and they brought it here to America. That's how it began to be implemented here in the state. It wasn't always here in the state. That came from them coming from out of a different country. That's what their culture was. That's what they did, and they brought it here into the state. So, Tanya.
Well, and you know, this the comment that I want to make on this kind of dovetails off of what we were just talking about with all these sexualized crimes that are happening and these assaults on children. I read, in doing my research for this, I read a story about a girl who, in Utah, who lives there and lives in one of the polygamous communities, and she had been sexually assaulted by somebody, not in her own home, but just by a stranger outside of her home. But somebody that she could know and report.
Right.
But she didn't say anything because she was afraid that if the police came to investigate what happened to her, they would then arrest her family because her family were bigamists. And so what I was reading about with this is that some of the lawmakers, the reason that they supported this change was because they believed that it would open the door for people who are in bad situations like that to come forward and speak. So whether you have this, whether you're engaged in this behavior as a political practice, right or wrong, good or bad, I am always going to be on the side of people being held responsible for harming children. And if it's true that there are children or any adults, anyone that is afraid to disclose something because they don't want harm to come to somebody else, we do need to do something about
Absolutely.
that. I don't know if this is what we need to do, but we do need to do something because nobody should be forced to choke down a situation, like you said, because of somebody else's authority and fear of what's going to happen to somebody else.
Exactly. And for those of you who know things that are going on and you want to give tips to the FBI, whether it's a hate crime or anything of that nature, you can always go to www.tips.fbi.gov, and you can also call 770-216-3000. If you are afraid to go in person, you can always go to that website that I just gave you, as well as call that phone number anonymously. We don't have to allow these things to continue to go on.
We shouldn't.
You know, and what's so sad to me is that we say that we are in the government, the United States of America, say that we are in a world and we have "in God we trust" on money. And so our foundation has been built on the Word of God. And the thing about it is it doesn't show any real value in the sanctity of marriage. So how did we get to this place? You know, it's bad enough we dealing with side chicks in relationships.
You didn't go there.
I did. I definitely went there. You know, it's bad enough you dealing with that side chick. But now you're telling me that you got to go into a marriage that was designed for a man and a woman according to the Word of God. And I got to share? I'm sorry, but I'd rather not be married if I got to share my husband with another woman. I just rather not be married. I'm sorry.
Sis, what you
but come
feel
on,
about
Kay,
this?
because I know you're going to come with it.
Well, I don't go for that. Bigamy, polygamy, polynora, whatever they call it. Because, listen, you with your husband or you with your wife, that's who you set your vows to. That's who you need to stick to. You don't want him or her, go get someone else. You know,
be with yourself.
Yeah, let them know. You know, just don't keep on, because that's a hurtful thing. Now, see, men, they can go out there and do things, but when they find out that somebody getting a hold to their woman, it's a horse of a different stroke of a color.
You mean to tell me women do the same thing?
Yes.
Shut up.
Let me tell you. I don't, you know, this topic right here, I don't go for that. I don't approve of that. And whoever the people are that's doing it, you know,
to each his own.
To each his own. But Miss Kay want her one and only. And I'm not gonna openly, willingly agree to none of that. It's he and I or nothing. So, you know, when I get one again, that right there is gonna be he and I. I'm not agreeing to, they got the new fabulous name swingers. We ain't swinging. We ain't swinging nowhere.
Swinging nowhere?
No.
But swinging in the house, that's about it, right?
That's it. That's
Polygamy has literally destroyed families. The morals and the values of what a marriage is, institutional marriage, a family. It has literally destroyed families. And the things that we watch on TV doesn't help because they make it look so good.
Oh, they got a whole show.
We definitely do. But these are real issues. These are real things that's actually happening. My thing is, what do you stand for? You know, I don't judge anybody. If you want to be with 2-3 women, that's what makes you happy. That's between you and God.
That's right.
But as for me, I know what I want and I know what I don't want. And I think that those who do, that say that they are in Christ, when you talk about the spirituality, and I know there are different types of religions, so everybody practice different things.
Exactly.
You know, so, and there are different cultures that do different things in their cultures or have different traditions that they have. But as for me,
As for you in your house.
As for me in my house.
Uh-huh.
Well, it's just me in my house. Okay.
Why did I laugh at that so hard? Because I feel the same way.
I don't want it to stay that way.
No,
Trust me, I don't want it to stay that way.
I don't know.
But
You don't know. Girl, you missed it when she was here last time.
Single.
Oh, girl.
I just, it's debatable.
It's debatable.
It's debatable. But I know I don't want more than one. I definitely, if it's gonna be a husband, it's gonna be a husband. Ain't gonna be more than one husband. But like you said, it's to each his own. And the thing about this situation is, these are folks that believe, their belief system is that is the way a family is supposed to be, that there are supposed to be multiple wives and things like that. And they would disagree completely that it's destroying families. They think, from their perspective,
brings their family together.
It's bringing the family together. The family is bonded, is knit, is successful, and is functional. So for me, like you said, it's all about what you believe, and that guides you. The problem is if your beliefs start to, again, what we were talking about earlier, when your beliefs cause you to act out in a way that is harmful to somebody else, now we got a problem. But for these folks, we're talking about consenting adults that are walking in that door, they're making that choice, that's fine. The issue, again, we need to be, always being focused on is those that are innocent of it. And when we're talking about like child brides, now we're going somewhere else.
Right.
That's a problem. So,
I'm sorry.
we need to be, when we're thinking about like these laws and stuff that are being put into place, while it can be problematic in some ways, it can also be very helpful and move towards resolution of some other problems that have been going on. So
I'm gonna raise my hand real quick.
Go ahead.
Something just struck me. Y'all don't remember when we was kids and Daddy and them had a whole family around the corner? Or Uncle Daddy and them had this, and and the truth is,
and
it's been that way.
It was tolerated.
It was just what go on in the house, stay in the house.
Always.
Maybe for the first time, they're putting it out here, because you're right. Everybody know about a side piece. Everybody know that somebody's this was doing this, that, or the third. Maybe now they're just not hiding it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember it's a couple of, how he your cousin? Girl, Daddy was up there creeping. Wherever he lay his hat is his home. They even made a song about it.
They've been making the songs for years.
But so maybe now, that's what made me, like, honestly, when I interrupted and I apologized, it hit me like, girl, they've been doing this the whole time. They just made it legal. So
when they used to say Papa was a rolling stone.
Right, wherever he laid his hat was home. So think about it, y'all. Maybe now it's just coming out, and we're seeing it. Like you said with Will Smith, filmed.
It
at
can
11.
come out. It can be on the billboards. It can be plastered on every highway where the exit signs are. Guess what? If that's the rule of a relationship, Kay gonna stay single.
My whole thing of it is that are we changing laws just to make people happy? Because if that's the case, then if you happy speeding and racing, is it okay to change the law just because you feel like that makes you feel free? So, it's a lot of different scenarios on what people feels like makes them happy or make them function better. I hear people say that smoking weed makes their life better, So we're constantly changing laws that were in place before because it makes people happy. Is it right? Is it wrong? Well, come back with us on next week. We'll talk about this later. Thank you all.
For joining
for joining us. Stay tuned for Talk Show Kings at 6:30 p.m. We are out. Come back next Sunday. Share.
Bye, y'all. Thank you so much.
1061. Conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond. TV 1061. Conceptualizing your ideas across the world and beyond.